What happens to your superannuation if you have no family members to nominate? This is a really good question and is quite complex, so let's unpack it further. So firstly, if you have no spouse, no kids, no financial dependents, then really the only option you're left with for your super nomination is your legal personal representative, also referred to as your estate. Now, it's really important to note that superannuation doesn't actually form part of your estate typically, so it's actually usually going to be dealt with separately to your will. However, in the scenario where you're nominating your legal personal representative or your estate to receive your superannuation, your super proceeds will be distributed through to your estate. Now, once your superannuation proceeds are distributed through to your estate, it is then important to make sure that you do have a valid will in place, because once you have your valid will in place, you can virtually nominate anyone that you want. It could even be a charity to receive any of your money in whatever proportion you decide. So really important that you actually do have a valid will in place, and this is all done correctly, usually with the help of an estate planning lawyer. Now, if you were to die without a will, you will fall under what's called the intestacy rules, which I'll talk about further. Here's what would happen if you were in Victoria and you had no will. If you had no partner or children, then they'll look at your parents. If you have no parents, siblings, grandparents, aunts and uncles, and then cousins. And if you have no living relatives, that's when your estate or your assets will be passed through to the government. Now, until this date, I've never met someone that wants their assets being paid to the government, so I would always suggest make sure you have a valid will in place. Any questions, guys, reach out.